बात कर लेते हैं.
दादा, I'll keep my वॉल्यूम ऑन म्यूट, क्योंकि मेरी बिल्डिंग में कुछ चल रहा है. आई थिंक इंटरप्शन अभी आ रही होगी आपको.
हाँ, so you can keep it on mute. When I ask you the question, you can answer it.
Okay, Jaideep ji.
There is a recording going on, Basil. I think we'll have to not talk about that right now. It's being recorded. Okay, we are also live on YouTube. So.
Good morning, our esteemed guest. I am Aman.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
MC for today's event. We'll be starting at 12:15. I wish you all had fantastic day.
Thank you.
We are going to have a big day. Don't worry.
We are about to start at 12:15. So till then, all of you can converse among yourself.
We live to nahi hai na hum log? That's what my question is.
So we all are live.
Okay, then we can't.
We are supposed to go live like 5 minutes before in case we encounter any technical difficulties. It would be easier to tackle.
Okay, I don't think there'll be much of a problem. We're just waiting for one more member. I think Rajesh Nair, he has to join us. So otherwise, we are good to go.
Have you set the background thing?
Yeah, you need to download it on your computer and then save it. So if you go to Zoom, there is one option called settings. In settings, you can there's a background option. You can go and change it in the background.
नहीं आया दादा मेरा, तो भी मैंने ऐसे ही कर लिया. चलेगा ना? White है plain. I have no other option. I tried, but नहीं हुआ.
Background is there.
Hi Rajesh, how are you? Rajesh, we can't hear you properly. आप लोग अपना वॉल्यूम्स को थोड़ा ज्यादा बढ़ा लेना प्लीज, ऑल ऑफ यू.
ओके, ठीक है.
Rajesh, you need to switch off the light in top of your head. I think what's happening is it's reflecting on our faces.
Acha, okay, right. Now is it okay?
Yeah, it's better.
Is it okay now, Dada?
It is better.
Yeah, because
it is.
Okay, right.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all on the first day of World Hospitality Expo 2022. We shall begin with our session, which topic is impact of COVID-19 on hospitality industry and how can procurement bail out the industry. Our speakers for the day are Mr. Jaideep Gupta, Mr. Basil Massey, Mr. Biplab Bharati, Mr. Rajesh Nair, and Ms. Vidhu Sharma. Mr. Jaideep is the Director of Ananya Management and founder, Jaideep Gupta Consultants, 30 years of experience in hospitality in procurement, projects, and operation. He is also ex-vice president of operations. Since 2015, a consultant with over 60 projects completed in last 6 years. Mr. Basil Massey is the corporate general management procurement, the Leela Palace, hotels and resorts. He has over 3 decades of experience in hospitality industry related to material management. Mr. Basil Massey contributed in the development of 3,000 rooms for India's premier luxury hotel company, Taj Group of Hotels. He has also served as Director Procurement of Duet Hotels. In his experience of 3 decades, he has delivered around 67 new greenfield and renovation projects for internationally well-known brands like Taj, Hilton Garden, Starwood, 4 Points by Sheraton, IHG, Holiday Inn Express, Accor Hotels, Mercury. Mr. Biplab Bharati is the General Manager of Projects, Contracts and Procurement at Ambuja, Neotia. He has over 30 years of experience in hospitality industry. Mr. Rajesh Nair is Materials Manager at Grand Hyatt and Lulu International Convention Center, Kochi, Kerala. He has been in procurement community for more than 25 years. Mr. Rajesh Nair started his career with Leela Palaces and Resorts and worked on their different properties, especially in pre-opening. Spent maximum year with their Bangalore property. He has been working with Grand Hyatt and Lulu International Convention Center for last 4 years and looking after upcoming properties in Kerala. Miss Vidhu Sharma is working as freelance procurement consultant. She has over 30 years of experience in various industries. Since last 18 years, she is attached with hospitality sector. She has done projects with Umaid Group Ahmedabad, Novotel Umaid, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Then with Pride Group of Hotels and Seven Leisures Club O7 Ahmedabad. But now working as freelancers with various projects and recently completed Food Lake Banquet Hall project Ahmedabad. Also, along with that, there's an announcement for all our visitors at the expo. We are having lucky draw for all our visitors, which would be announced at the end of the day. Our gifting sponsors are Dadu Ceramics, Varun Laundry Equipments, and Hata Industries. Said that, I would hand over the dais to our speakers of the day to speak on impact of COVID-19 on hospitality and how procurement bail out the industry. Over to you, guests.
Thank you very much, and welcome to this amazing, hopefully amazing webinar. The most important point we have to all remember is that all of you have got huge experience in this field, and that's why you are here on this platform. Thank you very much for joining us, and let's have a ball. So on the December 8th of 2019, the government of Wuhan, China, announced that the health authorities were treating a new virus case, which was identified subsequently as coronavirus 2019. And a bombshell literally dropped on our laps. We in the hospitality industry have undergone, I think we were the worst affected because of this. We lost, a lot of our people lost our jobs. There were economic downturn. Excuse me. There was a bad economic downturn, and hotels and restaurants are yet to recover from this. We were trying to recover. We did recover a bit, and then the Omicron version of it came into play, and then again things went topsy-turvy. So the obvious and the first critical global response to COVID-19 was travel restrictions. There were stay-at-home orders. There were social distancing orders. Timings were restricted for most restaurants. Hotels occupancy levels were restricted, and of course, in many cases there were complete border closures and people could not travel. So suddenly we found ourselves in a situation where our jobs were threatened, our lifestyle was threatened, our revenues were threatened. The good thing which came out of this, I think, in my personal opinion, is the fact that the pandemic created a fantastic opportunity for procurement and supply chain, because initially we were a fringe department, but over the period of last few years, and especially thanks to HPMF, we in procurement have reached a stage which can be called as a prime department or a clearly defined department, which actually contributes quite a lot to the hotel revenues and industry. From that point of view, I think this pandemic has given us an opportunity to prove ourselves, not only in managing risks and ensuring business continuity, but also as an architecture of value creation and the gatekeeper that enables business innovation and sustainability. So today we are here to discuss how this has all happened and how can procurement bail out the industry. My first question would be to Mr. Basil Massey. And Basil, as I just said that this has given us an opportunity, but I'd like to understand from you, do you think that the understanding of procurement and supply chain that I just mentioned has changed during the pandemic? And if so, what has changed? Over to you, Basil.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. Very nice. This pandemic the COVID has given us a lot of learning, as you have told us. It has changed the supply chain altogether. See, what we have got is from the COVID is the human touch is gone. It has gone to the technology, the new behavior of the people and towards client and as well the guests to the hotels. New normal has changed the manpower structure very rightly, you have said. You know, the restriction which are gone into the restaurants and the banquets, which is hitting our businesses at the same time. Cost of the operation activities has reached. Permanent recurring overheads has been rationalized everywhere. We have been asked to rationalize our expenses. And that's a very, very tough job for any procurement person to handle this. But we are very, very successful with the help of our teams, especially the family which we belong to, that HMF. Then the most of the micro and the small industries, they have shut down because of the effect of the COVID. I'm coming to the point which we need to discuss at the same, the raw material preparation. Again, the farmers are not doing the breeding of their poultry, the meat and everything, which is impacting the supply parts. The farmers have not cultivated their crops because of uncertainty in the market, whether today because of the restriction, because of the border restrictions and all. Hence, the cumulative effect on the raw material price has increased. Vendor has asked to increase prices every month, every 3 months. With whom we have the center purchase contracts, people are coming back to us and asking us, can you increase the price? Can you increase the price? Because this has impacted the whole system of ours. Fuel costs have increased, which has impacted the freight, which is the most important part. Non-availability of the container because of the COVID, the people, those who imported the material, they have never returned back those containers which are lying in the different parts of the world. The country who exports the maximum, that is China, does not have the containers to ship out those materials, and the people are capitalizing on the freight cost. Deliveries are hit like anything. Hospitality industry, again, unemployment, 50% paid to the people of the salary, reduction of the manpower. But at the same time, supply and demand, which has affected the chain of ours, behavior have changed because of the lot of examples which are there. We want to people, the suppliers, the vendors are scared if they are supplying, whether they'll get the payment, whether they produce the material or not, whether today our demand is there, tomorrow the business is not there, but somebody will pick up that material from them or not. That is the biggest hit we are getting it at this time, which has changed the procurement chain altogether and increase we have a lot of things which we look at into the vendors now. Do they have the system? Do they have the sanitizer? Do they have abide by the rules, by laws, which I think now we are so stringent, we are so particular that we want to visit those factories, we want to see them, whether they are their hygienically is there, everything which we like to see there. Less manpower has done the digitalization which we have done. Increase the cost, which I've already told you. This is, we are bringing more things into the center purchase contract. We are looking for the vendors, those who have the network in every city, because to save the cost. So because
Basil,
of,
thank you. So I understand that there has been a change in the understanding for the function. And before you go into the modus operandi, because that would be, I think, a more general question. Thank you very much. We understand that the whole perspective of procurement and supply chain has changed because of the pandemic. Moving on to Rajesh, I mean, taking it from what Basil has been just talking about, my question to you is, if things have changed, so obviously there has been a huge pressure on the procurement function to perform, like Basil was saying, with those challenges. Now, question to you is, how has the procurement function demonstrated its value to business leaders? So whether it's the general manager of the hotel, or whether it's the area head of the hotel, or for that matter, the global head of the hotel, how do they see procurement today after this pandemic? And how have we demonstrated our value, our chain, our expertise to them in this pandemic?
Good afternoon, everyone. Jaideep sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all the respected panel members. Thank you, Aajjo and HMF, for such a facility to given to us to share our thoughts and ideas. Okay. Directly to the question. What Mr. Basil has told, and taking over from that entire procurement industry in hospitality industry has changed a lot.
Sorry to interrupt. Can all of you go on mute, please, except for Rajesh? Please go on mute. Thank you. Basil, please mute your thing so that there is no disturbance. Go ahead, Rajesh. Go ahead.
Okay. So it was very difficult time to prove the top management that such a department exists. Let me tell you very clearly. And I had undergone personally and professionally to prove that ownership to the management contract company, as well as our immediate bosses, that purchase department exists. Does the purchase department is a cost-bearing department? What has been proved all these years, or it is a profit-making department? It was very difficult, but somehow, or maybe if you take some of the experiences, for example, after the first wave, okay, when the hotel reopened, there is a huge boost of business. Okay, for example, after the first and second wave, the hotel which I work, the international convention which I work, last month itself, we had done a business of 20 crores. 1 month, we had done a business of 20 crores. The entire supply chain management got disrupted. Okay, how do we make sure that we get the entire supplies? Okay, the first thing what we proved, our existing supplier, many cases, what we call the tier 1 supplier has failed. Okay, so immediately enter and make sure that we have a tier 2 supplier. Okay, as Mr. Basil told, many of the suppliers were telling, sir, this rate mein to kaam nahi chalega. Okay, prices have increased. So what do we do? So that was the biggest problem to prove the top management, so that even the entire supply chain management got failed, but we are not failing to deliver what we are supposed to be. Okay, so developing alternate sources of supply was the biggest challenge during this time. Okay, which we have proved by developing different source of supplies. That was the biggest threat, the entire supply chain management. There was business, there was huge business, but how do we cater the entire needs of the chefs and the operation department? So
sorry to interrupt again. Basil, you are logged in 2 places. If you can please mute the other one. I don't know how it is showing. Now it is okay. Yeah, okay. There is some disturbance. Basil, can you just check? Are you logged in 2 places?
Mr. Basil is logged in 2 IDs. That's why.
Basil sir, एक ID काट दो please. नहीं तो आवाज आ रही पीछे से.
Onboarding है. Onboarding. Yeah, this that fellow gets Sharma. What's his name? I've given everything for Ronnie.
Yeah, Rajesh, I think can continue.
Yeah, now it is noted. Yeah. So, Mr. Jaideep, the main thing was keep the supply chain live, keep the supply chain management live, make sure that all the supplies coming, because there are businesses, and we are being held responsible if any short supply, because when the industry changed, the customer has more power. Okay, they could negotiate. No, we need this material, then only we are ready to do this function, or we are ready to give the booking to you. So the first problem was keep the supply chain management live, get all the materials. Okay, many people, many contractors has not gone as per the contract rate, and being purchase manager, we know the market situation was very bad. How do we go to them and ask for the same rate? So that was the main thing which we had come across and shown to the management. Yes, we could do that. That was the first thing. But the same thing as a purchase managers, it is not only our baby. We live and rest everybody die. That we cannot do that. We should make sure that our supplier community is also alive. Okay, so make sure that the cash management, the cash flow has to be live. We have to pay them on time. That was the next risk which was involved in the supply chain management. So talking to the ownership, we never had revenue for 1.5 years. Okay, and go to the ownership and ask for more money. Once the hotel opened, there were a lot of challenges because many machineries were out of order, that it was not opened. Okay, many rooms, you have better experience. Once the rooms are closed, how do when we reopen? Okay, so all these things. So developing having the cash flow management in turn, okay, making our supplier, not everyone, whoever is required, making that payment to them. That was another thing that makes sure that the suppliers are not affected by paying on time. Okay, so keep the supplier community which is related to us, keep them alive. Okay, and make sure that at the same time, make sure that our bottom line is so strong. So renegotiate with the vendor. Maybe not with the supply contractor. Certain time we had to give certain increment to the supply contractors, but at the same time, the service contractors, go back them, renegotiate with them on the AMC cost. Okay, extend the AMC for another couple of months, even we had done for another 1 year. Okay, with the same price, extend the services for another 6 months. So these are all the main things what we have done out of the box, and make sure that we have proved the top management, yes, we are right, supply chain management or purchase department or the procurement department so important. Okay, so that we can add value to the operations. Instead of a cost department, we had converted it into a profit making department. Like sales and other department, purchase is so important. Without that department, you people cannot function. Okay, so we had risen to that level. Okay, so that the management or the management company, owning companies make sure that yes, this is the department which we had born, so that the entire function goes on.
Thank you, Rajesh. Wonderfully put. And I really like that point about you saying, which also Basil touched upon earlier, is that I think most of our work as heads of procurement depends on relationship management, not only in terms of our own community, but also in terms of the vendors whom we are completely dependent on.
The vendor community.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's a very, very good takeaway point. And obviously, it also has got elements of inventory management. So now my next question is to Vidhu ma'am. Vidhu ji, first of all, let us all wish you a very happy birthday. It's slightly belated, but you are on mute. So if you can unmute, please. Aap mute pe ho, Vidhu ji. Please unmute.
Thank you very much, but I'm down with COVID.
It doesn't matter. You still have a good birthday, right? What has birthday got to do with COVID?
Thank you very much. But ये virtual और digital technology का कमाल है.
बिल्कुल. So anyway, wish you a very speedy recovery and thank you for joining us in spite of your illness. Question to you is, it is, as we were just discussing, the various methods of ensuring that we are, as a community, as procurement heads, we are able to prove to our seniors and to the world in general that it is an extremely important function, especially during this pandemic. Now, one of the most important functions of our, one of the most important elements of our work is inventory management. So how important is it for hotels to do appropriate and correct procurement and inventory management, especially during the COVID times? If you can throw some light on that.
Inventory management is a very important part because hotel industry pandemic में जो पूरी की पूरी 360 डिग्री सारा चेंज हो गया है, तो उस बीच में लॉकडाउन आ गया, आपकी यहाँ पे गेस्ट की कमी है, बट यू हैव पेरिशेबल, यू हैव नॉन पेरिशेबल, तो सर्टेन स्टॉक आइटम्स तो आप रख सकते हैं, लुकिंग टू द एस्पेक्ट कि वॉट एवर द नंबर ऑफ गेस्ट और आर कमिंग टू योर होटल, उनके लिए अवेलेबल आपको करना है. तो इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट इज प्लेइंग अ वेरी वाइटल रोल इन दिस. आप उसके लिए आजकल जो ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स हो गए हैं, डिजिटलाइजेशन से इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट रखने से यू कैन जनरेट your reports, you can track your what is the requirement and what is available based on that. Of course, procurement team has played a very vital role in this scenario because all the odds, they have arranged the material for their hotels. So it was a very big challenge, but again, inventory is very important, or proper right inventory rakhna, because it is a direct cash money. So that is plays a very vital role. And
thank you, Vidhu ji.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else you want to add to this?
See, only the thing is that you have to be close coordinate with your departments, with the chef, to maintain the optimum level of inventories, doing the classification where high value items you can keep optimum, and your low value items you can keep, can have a stock. So all those kind of things you can work out, do little homework, and accordingly you can maintain your stocks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so Rajesh,
Gupta, Jaideep, can I add something into this?
Yeah, please.
See, I'll tell you. all this, I'll tell you, this coronavirus or maybe this situation has taken us 20 years back to our inventory management. Okay, because I have started my career as an inventory manager or maybe an store associate. Okay, all these 20 years, which why I'm telling this, this pandemic has taken us 20 years back, because all these 20 years to have a better cash flow, we were introducing a lot of inventory management techniques in our operation, which include the new one just 2 years back. What we had introduced was something is called procure to pay. Okay, you procure what is converted immediately into a revenue. Okay, then we had introduced JIT, just in time. Okay, then we had introduced supplier management inventory. Okay, this all we introduced by, and thereby reducing the inventory carrying cost. But this entire thing gone for a toss. Okay, now we have increased the inventory. For example, if you are doing a 6 crore F&B business, my inventory was 3-4 lakhs rupees or 5 lakhs maximum. It has gone to 300% higher. 300% higher. So this pandemic has taught the lesson or taken the industry 20 years back. Okay, now there is more inventory carrying cost, more stock on hand at any point of time, more spoilage in our stores. Okay, so this was the biggest lesson or biggest threat what we are going to be. I don't know when the supply chain management or logistic management will be ideal, so that we can go back whatever we reduce, procure to pay or just in time to inventory, which I don't know, because this pandemic has taken a big this thing on the inventory carrying cost, and that is why the big loss and the bottom line now what is happening.
I think very correct. Well said, you said, Rajeshji. But this is the biggest challenge in today's scenario, especially the hospitality, to maintaining the inventories on, because these are all eatables. You have major all the food items, your perishable, non-perishables. And perishable items, the availability and scarcity is there. Because of lockdown, lot many, especially non-veg items, highly perishables, they are not available in market. So you cannot keep or pile in your cold rooms. So this is a very big challenge which everybody has facing.
Yeah, I think both of you are right. Rajesh, you are also right to a great extent, and Vidhuji, you're also right that there has been challenges. But I think a lot depends on which which hotel we are working for, which are the sort of the leverages that we can use, whether it's a standalone hotel or whether it's a chain of hotels. Speaking of cost-cutting measures, which has been the first impact reaction, pehla paisa kato, cost kato. So first, obviously, the staff suffered because they were given 50% or less of their salaries. Then the suppliers suffered because they were not being paid for a long time. But cost cutting itself sometimes does not work, and that is being proved by what Rajesh just said and what you're also saying, Vidhuji, in a way. But with people, when you are have to feed people, when you have to ensure that your guests are satisfied, the cost cutting measures have to be taken into account on a very using a lot of brain and a lot of thought and also a lot of statistics. So Biplab, in your opinion, what is the correct definition of cost cutting in this industry? And in addition, what measures should be implemented as per you and your huge concern? How should be implemented to post the lockdown? Because lockdown is here to stay. I mean, today we have gone through Omicron. Tomorrow there might be some another variant. So again, there will be some issues coming forward. So what is the measures that one can implement to increase cost cutting in the hospitality industry without creating problems for the vendors and for us? Biplab.
Vocal for local. We have to develop a lot of local vendors. We have to give platform to the small vendors who can give us and where we can save the cost. Because going to the big vendors, going to the outside your interstate vendors will again add on to your cost. So आपकी landing cost increase होगी तो आपकी other product cost increase होगी. For example, if food items imported one, if you are importing, it's better instead of that developing a local vendor.
Vidhuji. That is one point of view that you were saying, Vidhuji, we get you. My question was specifically to Biplab because he is coming from Ambuja Neotia. And Ambuja Neotia been successful in retaining most of their guests even because they are a local organization. So Biplab, why don't you come in and tell us what measures, cost-cutting measures should we implement?
Actually, the actual cost cutting means not only the reduce the expenses and improve our profitability. Actual cost cutting means you cut those costs which is irrelevant, which is bad cost. So before cost cutting, you should think about what type of cost, how many costs you are handling. I think there are three costs involved. One is bad cost, one is good cost, and one is best cost. What is good cost? Good cost is such cost which is involved focus on the company's growth. It is lean with the customers. This if you meet those costs, your company's growth will happen. That is good cost. Like bad cost is not such a cost which is not giving the company's growth and waste the resources. And if you can free up these resources by cutting those costs, bad cost, it will give you a higher profitability. And base cost is those costs which associated with the company's uniqueness. It will give you the unique in the market. Your company is unique in the market because you are carrying those costs. It is make the differentiation between from the competitors. How the provides true value its customers. Okay. So before going the cost cutting, we should think which cost should I eliminate and which cost should I take. I think, in my opinion, we should go for bad cost. We should cut and maximize those costs, the best cost. After the post-COVID, I think we have to go for the cost cutting. The way we cost cutting, like we can close down our unpopulated hotel areas. We can review our investment plans. Like we can invest. It's a transition period. Like we should invest on the efficient technology. Rather, we are investing on inefficient technologies. There are so many technologies in the market is available right now, which gives you the cost is low, but the efficiency level is very high. We should adopt that. We can do the energy efficiency, increase the energy efficiency, improve the energy efficiency. There is a lot of opportunities is there. We can cut the import cost. We should use the local product, which is made in India, which is locally available. And we can relook the AMC cost, the kitchen equipment, the housekeeping, fixed assets. We can relook. We can repair those machines and those assets through our own resource, own staff, own engineering team, rather calling outside vendors. We can taking the outside agencies for housekeeping and security. We can stop that because there are so many employees, so many team members are available. There is not much business, so we can use those employees. We can train them, and we already done this in the lockdown period. We trained our staffs for doing security work, for doing housekeeping works, and they are doing very well. So we cut down the those outside agencies. We can introduce one thing like bank. Bank is doing the KYC, know your customers. We can also start know your supplier, know your vendor, KYS or KYV. It will give you the opportunity to know your supplier, the supplier, where from the supplier is coming, what is his financial strength, from where he is sourcing his material, so that you can rely on them that this much period it will take to bring down that product. So it will give you the idea that should I go with the vendor? Like one example, if somebody is procuring your baby corn or mushroom from Bangalore in this period, the COVID period or pandemic period, it's difficult, and the freight cost is also very high. But the same baby corn and the same mushroom you can buy from Darjeeling, which is nearer from Kolkata. Okay, so it will cut down your cost, and the same time you will get the from supply. That you have to build. You have to build the relation with the vendor so that you can get a longer period, credit period, or maybe long-term association we can make with those vendors. We can rebalance our inventory level, rebalance the inventory level, so that we should not keep much inventory for those items which is imported, which can be expired very soon. So all those things we can do it.
Right. Thank you, Biplab. I think that makes a lot of sense what you said. And the takeaway point from me, as far as this particular conversation from you is concerned, is the fact you did mention that two things. What Ms. Vidhu Sharma also said, go vocal for local. And the other thing which struck me is the fact that you're talking about leveraging our technology. Right. Now, coming to technology, let's get on to.
Can I add something?
Yeah, Basil, I was just about to tell you, I was actually coming to you only. So essentially speaking, when it comes to technology, when you come from a group like Leela's, which is an international group, and so does Rajesh, Hyatt being an international group. Now, there are some basic standards that you have to maintain in the hotel, which is an internationally recognized hotel. And, those standards cannot be undone. From that point of view, firstly, Basil, and then again, Rajesh can also come in. My question to both of you is, how have you been able to leverage technology? Like we all said, we were talking about digital platforms, for example. How have you sort of tapped into this potentially digital platform, scope, and been able to leverage it to your benefit during this time? So we'll start with Basil, and then Rajesh, you can also take over and put your points to this. Basil, please go.
Yeah, before I go to that point, a few things which I want to add to the earlier point is standardization, because since we have 12 hotels and we have added more during this COVID time, we have added 3 hotels into it, and the Leela hired the maximum people in this tenure. We have not laid off anybody, and that's a blessing to us. Our organization is to save cost is the standardization of our materials. So every unit should use the same material, which gives you the power of the quantity, as well the consolidation, which also gives you a power to negotiate. At the same time, when you have consolidated your requirements, it gives you a power to negotiate, and you get a better discount on that. That gives you the negotiation power. And we are taking the payment on time to the vendor. So you get the power of to get a better discount at the same time. And also using a lot of green initiatives which can reduce your cost. It's like list down the initial MEP where the water saving, electricity saving, and so on. So solar energy, which we are putting up in most of the hotels, which will save a lot of money for us. This will also help the world to reduce the carbon footprint in the country. Now coming up to the AMC, which was a very important part, we spent crores of rupees on our AMCs or equipment, but they are least for the people don't take care of their AMCs because you are putting a lot of money. But at the time, we have to take the good use of that money. We have to make sure, because we are going to the OEMs, those who have manufactured their machines. So it's our prime duty, our total procurement, engineering, everybody's prime duty to make sure we get our equipment health checkup done. We make sure that whatever we are paying, we get the 100% output of that money of our equipment. So they should be keep on running because the show is run by our DG, chiller, housekeeping, every equipment which is your suppression system, your burner, your everything is on based on our equipment. So very, very important that our AMCs are negotiated at the time of buying material. But at the same time, our total team has to put their efforts to get each penny worth from the OEMs. That's one thing. And I really appreciate the word which, that example which Mr. Bharti has given us, the good cost and the bad cost and the best cost. Very nice. I really appreciate it. Now, coming to the technology which we have, Leela has done it. We have most of the things have been digitalized and from entering into the hotel, your menu cards and everything is digitalized. So which is giving us a lot of benefit to our industry, to the people. People are not touching things. People are going to the digital. They can see their menus, they can see everything on the screen. They don't have to touch papers and so on and so forth. So that's what we have done that. And from PR, from indent to the payment, everything is digitalized. So nothing has to, even the vendor registration is digitalized. People have to just upload their documents to the system and the due diligence, everything is and a platform where it is totally digitalized. The procurement is digitalized, and this is what we have done right now. So it's lots of things which we are putting into the system and bringing IT. Ramandeep Sharma, who is the IT head, a lot of new things which we are bringing onto the platform for the leader.
Great. Rajesh, what's your take on this also?
With the digital technology, I'll tell you, after the first COVID wave, we are all gone to digital menus, digital check-ins, okay, which are still continuing, and that is going to be the future. We are not going back to the old days, we go back to the key cards or, that is not going to happen, and that is going to the future. But end of the day, on procurement front, how digital we are, and I think we have just moved 10%. How many of our purchase orders are digitally moved? How many of our purchase code? Okay, we get it through emails and other things, but we are not digitally. Do we have a platform like Amazon where we can order? If our specification, for example, specifications are very important. If there is a digital platform comes in, okay, is that specification, because specification changes vary from hotel to hotel. It is not a conventional hotel where it's a luxury hotel. But do we have a platform from procurement front? I'm talking about as a hotel. Definitely we have done a lot. It is a need of the hour. We have done a lot of things. But from the procurement perspective, I don't think, Mr. Jaideep, we had done much progress on that. We don't have any platform. During the first COVID and second COVID, we had done a lot of training. Even I had attended a lot of training. I had seen companies coming with digital. I have been in the advisory member of many of the companies, but it was not a success. In procurement, I'm talking about procurement front. There are not companies in India which I can tell you, see, this is the company which will give you a digital platform to find out your products. They have put their specification on digital. Okay, you can go, okay, this match your specifications, so go ahead and order. Many of the things, for us, we still depend upon the physical verification of the materials. So such digital platform will play a major role in procurement in hospitality industry. I don't think. Maybe it will take another 10 years. As I told you, industry has gone back 10 years back. Now it will take another 10 years to come into the digital concept of procurement concept. Okay. So that is my take on that. I have not converted, even though I had tried. Many of the things, end of the day, hospitality industry or hotels are made for human emotions. Okay, so many things cannot be done through digital field. People love to be talk to each other. They love to be meet each other. So the hotels are made for that. So in procurement field, I don't think we have made much progress on the digital platforms.
Yeah, to some extent, I agree with you, Rajesh. And actually, there is a lot to do as far as we are concerned to catch up on the digitalization of our entire work, which I think you rightly pointed out that we are not even 10% there. But having said that, I think we should all take it as a challenge in our respective fields. And we, especially through HPMF, we should be able to leverage some of this technology into our working lives so that we can actually come up to the standards that is demanded across the world. We have very little time left, so in just 5 minutes we need to wrap up. I have one last question, which I think all of you can speak two lines on this. We all agree that our staff is the most important aspect of our life, because whatever you do, end of the day, we are dealing with people, we are making people work, we are getting the benefits of the staff that have been working for us for quite a long time, and they have been loyal to us. So looking at the fact that the pandemic has affected staff badly, has the pandemic changed the way we look at staffing in procurement function, and what measures have you taken to ensure their safety in work? So one, Biplab of course did point out one very, very beautiful aspect. He said that he has done multitasking for his employees so that they could fit into any department. That's a very, very good point. I would like Basil, Rajesh, and Vidhuji to also say something on this. So how have you been leveraging your staff? How have you been looking after their welfare during this time?
We have taken a lot of initiatives in the last. Even we were the first people to everybody got vaccinated, and everybody is vaccinated. Even the families are vaccinated. Even the premises where we are, our vendors have been vaccinated. And since this is backed up by the Brookfield, our all even our guests are vaccinated, which we check. The vaccination drives, we are organizing seminars, we are organizing, doctors are coming regularly, and we are organizing the camps where the people, they come and they can get them vaccinated. Regular health checkup is very, very important for our staffs, not only for the staff, it's for the families also, like my wife, my children, we are getting vaccinated. The third booster which we are getting, the Leela is organizing the whole thing. Even the vendors, we are sending mails to them. Why don't, if you have missed out your vaccination, we will support you, because they are part of our family. We are, because with their support, we are running this show. It's our prime duty for them. 50% or 30% working of the staff, how to make them sit, how where they will sit, how they will move out. And most of the things which we are doing is work from home. We are making them to work from home at the same time. But we have regular sanitization, fumigation. We are trying to get the best of the chemicals, best of the companies to come and do the fumigation for, to avoid that manual touch and to make automated systems. We are trying our best to do that, so people don't touch everywhere. Even the washrooms where the people are visiting regularly, we are trying to make it automated. All you're trying to get your sensor type, your even the dustbin, we are trying to get them censored one, so that people don't have to touch things to avoid this. That's the drive which Veera is doing it for the people, for our family, for the vendor. They are our part of family. Those who are visiting our manpower, those who are doing casual works, we are getting them vaccinated. Even we are asking their families, why don't you come and get your vaccination done? We'll help you out.
Right. That was for the safety of the staff. Rajesh, what have you done to ensure the continuity of the staff, which is basically what I'm trying to say is their job profiles and their work in future?
Yeah, Jaideep, I have a different takeaway for all this subject. After the hotels open up or the industries open up after the first COVID or the second COVID, everybody would have seen, there is.
If everybody else can go on mute, please. If everybody else can go on mute, please. We have just 2 minutes left. Yeah, Rajesh, continue. Rajesh, you're on mute. If you can unmute, please.
Okay. See, Jaideep, here I have a total different opinion, as Mr. Basil said. After the first COVID or the second COVID, when the industry opened up, we are all seeing 50 to 60% of the staff leaving the properties. Okay, it is an open truth. Whether it is in my property, whether it is in somebody else's property, because I was keep on speaking to all the industrial stalwarts, and that is happening. Okay, so how do we motivate the team and keep the talent with us, which is going to be a biggest risk, but what all we are going to face, because if we are all above 40, 45, and for us to change the career would be difficult. But the people, the millennials, for them it is not that challenge at all. Okay, so what do we do that? So there will be a huge paradigm shift which need to happen in the hotel industry, hotel procurement industry. Okay, we need to convert our purchase executive as sales managers. Now, how does it happen? They should be giving more authority to convert making more profit, or you should convert them. You know, this is the last procurement cost. Okay, if you reduce it by 5%, you get, you know, bonus for this. You know what we do for the sales managers? You get 10 rooms, you get this thing. I think that has to be converted into procurement field also. Otherwise, we will have a huge chunk of people who does not understand what is mathematics or what is procurement. We are going to do that. So to motivate these people, we have to have a huge paradigm change, which need to happen in the industry immediately. Okay, otherwise the future of procurement will have a huge chunk of people. That need to be done immediately, and I think HUMF is the best thing which can do that. Okay, so we will have to immediately strategize. Okay,
Rajesh, we'll have to wrap up now. We are sorry, we're running out of time.
I'm done with that. I'm done with that.
All right. I mean,
एक लाइन बोलना चाहूंगी।
हाँ,
कि ये जो अभी टेक्स हेवी और हमारा डिजिटलाइजेशन चल रहा है, इसमें व्हाट्सएप हैज प्लेड अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल। मैंने मेरे ज्यादातर जितने मेरे स्टाफ को एक ही चीज बोला कि ये पैंडेमिक में ट्रैवलिंग एंड मूविंग टू दी सप्लायर्स डेस्टिनेशन टू मार्केट, जितना हो सके स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन व्हाट्सएप। एटलीस्ट दी कंप्यूटर की नॉलेज आने से पहले व्हाट्सएप पे आप काम करो, अपने आप को सेफ रख सकोगे। एंड
right, absolutely right. All right, I think that was a brilliant
One
session.
thing should I tell?
Yeah, Biplab, very
One
fast,
line.
please. Very fast.
One line.
Boliye.
From my company, we introduced for all employees for next 2 years for COVID insurance, all employees.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Great. So yeah, thank you so much. I think that that was a very valuable and I think a brilliant discussion. And I think we have touched upon all those points which make us understand that procurement is a function which has been and will be doing a lot for the hospitality industry. Thank you so much, all of you. And now over to our hosts.
Thank you so much, all the esteemed speakers, for the insightful session on post-pandemic hospitality, digitization, procurement, and everything associated with it. It was really nice to have you all. Thanks to our audience who have been listening us patiently. We have a lucky draw for all our visitors, and winners would be announced at the end of the day. So let's hope for the best. So have a nice day. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.